International Women's Day is very significant because it is a day that we celebrate women. But for SAFEDS, we work with women. We've been working with women for many, many years. And each year, International Women's Day gives us an opportunity to just stop and reflect on the work that we are doing, to check if we are in the right direction, and also to see if there are gaps that we need to address, and also just to hear from women if they are satisfied with the work that we are doing. The theme for this year is very significant for me. There are three core words in that theme, if you are aware. The first one is think equal. For me, that is very significant. What does it mean to think equal? When you break that down, for me, it means gender equality. It means gender equity. It means men and women being equal as human beings. And therefore, it raises questions for me. When you look around, are we still thinking equal? When you look at our structures, when you look at our schools, when you look at our governance, are we thinking equal? Are we thinking gender equality? The second part of that theme talks about building smart. And building smart, for me, immediately I think about investments. What are we investing in as an organization when it comes to the work of women? And the question we ask ourselves is, are we really investing in the right things? And so because it's International Day, we can really stop and reflect and ask ourselves, have we put our investments in the right places? Are we building the right things as far as women are concerned? And the work that we are doing, is it being informed by what women want to see? And that's the benefit of International Women's Day. And this question is not just for SAFEDS. It's a question that I put across to the government. Are we investing in the right things for women? For donors, for other civil society organizations, what are we investing in? What are we building? Are we being smart with our investments? What about value for money? It is the time for us to ask all those critical questions. The third part of the theme is about innovation. We also have to question, have we been doing business as usual? Have we really pushed the envelope? Have we pushed ourselves from our comfort zone in the way that we work with women and the way we want to bring changes for women? Are we still speaking rhetoric, or are we being innovative? The world has changed so much. We now have technology. How are we using technology to change the lives of women? Even in simple technology such as cell phones that are everywhere. To what extent are we using that technology? How are we making sure that every woman has access to technology and not making it a special thing for the rich or for the urban? So the three themes within the overall theme of this year really challenge me as a leader to rethink about the way that we have been working as an organization. In terms of policies, we always keep coming up with new policies. So women are never short of policies. We still have the 50-50 on paper, but the reality is that on the ground, it is not happening. And 50-50, it's 50 women and 50 men in every situation, and that is not necessarily happening when we really look around ourselves. We have continued to push for women, and not just SAFEDS, many organizations talking about gender equality, talking about empowerment of women, and we do see growth in women, particularly when we look at the younger girls. I think we can really see the impact of the empowerment programs. But once they reach a certain age and become mothers and become wives, we see a regression, and we keep wondering, what is it that we have not done right? Why is the empowerment not working in the spaces, particularly in the private spaces at home? Statistically, we do see that in the region. When you are just looking at the gender-based violence, for example, you see that in some countries there is a reduction, particularly around physical gender-based violence. But there is also an increase in other forms of violence. So we have to stay on our toes. We cannot relapse. So if you want to do a comparison between last year and this year, yes, we've made some progress in the policy arenas. There are issues that we were not talking about last year. For example, the issue of consent for young girls. We were not talking about that. The issue of access to safe abortion. These are issues that we could not talk about last year, but this year we are talking about those issues. So I think in the advocacy and policy arena, there is a lot that is going on. But I do think that the gaps still remain at application, at operation. When you go to the grassroots level, that's when you begin to question whether the work we are doing is making a difference. So many of you know that we have collaborated in the previous years with our main radio stations like ZFM, like Star FM, to bring International Women's Day. We have been part of the celebrations that have been happening in the urban areas. This year we chose not to do that because we felt that we were leaving behind the women in the rural areas. And so we are going to take International Women's Day to the rural areas. And this year you will find us in the community, right at the grassroots level. We are going to be supporting women on that particular day. Instead of just celebrating with speeches and talking, we are going to give one-day skills to women that are going to come and participate at that event. I want to go back to the theme, and I want us to seriously think about the theme. Think equal. I just want to challenge everyone, not just the stakeholders, everybody. If you find yourself sitting in a room and there are 6 men and there's no women, ask yourself, where are the women? If you are a woman who is sitting in a boardroom and you are the only woman in that room with 10 men, you need to ask yourself, where are the other women? Think equal. And we have to start challenging these things. We cannot just keep accepting and accepting and accepting. Otherwise, what does that make us? Are we not equal? Are we not capable? Why is it that at any given point, we are now finding it comfortable for men to sit alone and discuss even women's issues? That is wrong, and that is one thing that we all need to change.